My name is Chloe. I need to tell you this story. It starts in the fall of 2001. The world felt heavy and sad back then. I was 19, waiting for a bus in Chicago. The wind was mean and cold. I saw a man sitting on a bench. He wasn't dressed for the weather, just a thin t-shirt. He was shaking. He looked lost, not just from the cold. His eyes were empty. Everyone walked past him. I felt a knot in my stomach. I was wearing my favorite jacket. It was blue, warm, and my dad gave it to me. Without really thinking, I walked over. I took off my jacket. "Here," I said. My voice was quiet. "You look cold." He stared at me. His eyes were surprised. "I can't take that," he said, his voice rough. "Please," I said, "just until you get warm." I held it out. He finally took it. He put it on slowly. It was too small for him, but he zipped it up. "Thank you," he whispered. The words seemed big. My bus came. I got on. As the bus pulled away, I looked back. He was still on the bench, holding the jacket closed. I wondered about him all the way home. I told myself it was just a jacket, but it felt like more. It felt like I gave away a piece of my heart on a hard day. I never thought I'd see him or that jacket again. Life moved on. I finished school, I moved to a small town, became a librarian. I got married to a kind man named Ben. We had a daughter, Lily. The memory of that night became soft, like an old photo. Sometimes I'd see a blue jacket and pause, but mostly it was a quiet story from my past, a good thing I did once. I forgot the man's face, but I never forgot the feeling, that cold air, the quiet thank you. The weight of being young in a sad world and trying to be kind. 22 years later, it was a normal Thursday. I was at the library where I work. Lily was now in college. Ben was at his job. Sunlight came through the big windows. I was sorting returned books. A man walked in. He was tall, with gray in his hair. He looked around, nervous. He held a paper bag. I smiled my librarian smile. "Can I help you find something?" He walked closer to my desk. He looked straight at me. His eyes were clear now, but intense. "I hope so," he said. "I've been looking for a long time." He placed the paper bag on the desk. Slowly, he pulled out a jacket, a faded blue jacket. My breath caught in my throat. It was worn. The zipper was different, but I knew it. My old jacket. My hands started to shake. I looked from the jacket to his face, and then I saw him, the young man from the bench, older, tired, but him. "You," I whispered. I couldn't say anything else. He nodded, his eyes getting wet. "My name is David," he said. "In 2001, you gave this to a stranger on a bus bench. That was me." I put my hand on the desk to steady myself. All the air left the room. "You kept it?" My voice was a squeak. "I kept it," he said softly. "It was the first kind thing anyone had done for me in years. I was in a very dark place. That jacket, it was like an anchor. It reminded me that good people existed." I touched the fabric. It felt thin. I saw my old self in this jacket. I saw the girl I was. "I can't believe this," I said. "How did you find me?" David took a deep breath. "It's a long story," he said. I pulled out a chair for him. We sat in the quiet corner of the library. "That night changed everything for me," David began. "I was a mess. I had lost my brother, then my job. I felt invisible. Your kindness, it was a spark. I got help. I got clean. I started over. But I always had the jacket. I promised myself I would find you one day and say a proper thank you." He told me he'd tried for years. He remembered my face, my bus route, but I had moved away. The internet was new then. He had asked people at the bus stop. No one knew the girl in the blue jacket. He almost gave up so many times, he said. But then, last month, I was helping at a charity event. A local newspaper took my picture. I was wearing an old coat over my clothes. When the paper came out, you could see the blue sleeve of your jacket underneath. He slid the folded newspaper clipping toward me. There he was, and there, peeking out, was a flash of faded blue. "A woman who volunteers with me saw the picture," she said. "My friend Chloe had a jacket just like that in college. She even talked about giving it to a stranger once." My heart stopped. "She told me you were a librarian here." I listened, tears streaming down my face. One small act, a ripple in a pond, it reached across decades to find me. "I was so scared to come here," David admitted. "What if I didn't remember? What if I didn't want to be found?" I reached across the table and took his hand. "I remember," I said. My voice was thick with tears. "I thought about you. I hoped you were okay." We sat there for an hour talking. He told me about his life now. He was a carpenter. He had a wife, 2 sons. He led a support group for people struggling like he had. He showed me pictures. His eyes, once so empty, were now full of light. I told him about my life, about Ben and Lily, about how that moment shaped me too. It taught me that kindness is never wasted. It taught me to always look people in the eye. "I want you to have this back," David said, gently pushing the jacket toward me. "It belongs to you. It always did. I just needed to borrow its hope for a while." I picked up the jacket. It was light, but it held the weight of 2 lives. "No," I said, pushing it back to him. "You keep it. It found its home with you. That was its job." He cried then, a quiet, relieved cry. We both did. Before he left, he hugged me. It was a strong, grateful hug. "Thank you, Chloe, for my life." He walked out of the library. I watched him go. The sun was lower now, painting everything gold. I felt a peace I had never known. The story that started in the cold was now complete in the warm light. The stranger was not a stranger anymore. He was a friend written into my life long before we knew it. And sometimes the smallest act of love is just a jacket, waiting 22 years to come back and say, "See, it mattered. You mattered." And that is the most beautiful ending of all.